be heavenly, it may be bliss. You can shoot for the stars.
Record. What's going on out there, everybody? This is your boy, comedian Marlon Ballard with the Love to Laugh podcast. I am joined by a special guest. I want y'all to give it up. Start clapping for the very talented Soul Diva #1. She has been tearing up these streets with her vocals. She's very talented, and man, she has a lot coming up, like in the game, coming up, like new stuff coming out, everything. So make sure y'all check out this vocal powerhouse. Give it up for Mary Cross. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So nice to see you all. Thank you so much for having me so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for stopping by the Love to Laugh podcast. I'm glad to have you. You are a vocal powerhouse. I checked out a couple of your songs before the interview. So like you are, I had to take all my glasses off the shelf because I'm like, yo, my glasses, I gotta.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. Thank you for those words of encouragement. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. How have you been? How's your day going?
Day's going very well, thank you. And I'm thank you for asking. So it's been a smooth transition from work straight home to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I just got off of work too. I still smell like outside. So, oh man.
Whatever it takes, we get it done, right? We juggle it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Working. Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe we're gonna get to know you during this interview. I hope you got some time for me, do you?
I do indeed. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about. So I read your bio. You have a hell of a bio. Like you've done a lot, and I know it's going to be longer, but as the years go by, because I can see the very potential in you. So we're gonna pick your brain.
I appreciate that encouragement so much. Thank you.
So you're fresh out of Jersey. Tell us about what part of Jersey you're from.
Yeah, I live in Southern New Jersey. We're about 10 minutes from Philadelphia, so we're right across the bridge. And it's a great area because it's near Voorhees. Like if people were thinking about what it's near, it's connected closer to Magnolia, Voorhees, Stratford, that kind of area. But yeah, so Lawnside, it has the Underground Railroad. So it's like one of the last towns that's predominantly Black.
Oh man, so what is it like? Is it a predominantly Black city or?
Yeah, it's a borough. It's not a city, but it's a borough. It's very small, like 1 mile by 1 mile radius. But most of the people who live here have either grown up here or their families did, and they stayed, or their grandparents were here or what have you. But it's a really nice, tight-knit community. So it's really good. And it's a great place to live, actually.
I hear like the Jersey, DMV area, like a lot of talent comes from that place. So I'm not surprised that you can blow like you can. Like this is amazing.
Some people think we sleepers over here, because I was born and raised in Camden, New Jersey. So it is a lot of great talent that comes out of Camden, but people don't always correlate the two. They would say, oh, they're from Philly. Like a lot of times they try and put you into this group rather than say Camden because you're right across the bridge. But I'm very proud of coming from Camden, New Jersey as a native of Camden. To me, it's an honor to actually be recognized in such a way to put our town on the map. Love it.
Put Camden on the map. They'll appreciate that. I'm sure they will.
Indeed.
So when did you start singing? Did you start in church or did you,
Yes, I did. I was 12 years old, and my friends, I used to joke with them because there was a show on television called The Catherine and Tennille Show. I don't know if you know who they are, but they had a song that she would sing called "Love Will Keep Us Together," and so I used to mimic that when we'd be outside playing. They'd be like, "I don't know, you sound like you could sing." I'd be like, "I can't sing. I'm just mimicking somebody." So I actually, when I went to church, I had talked to one of the choir directors, and they said, "Okay, let's see what you can do," and they gave me a duet with someone first. And that went very well. And then it was like, okay, I started singing solo. So that's how it all started for me. And so I continued to stay in church and go in that direction. But I always had a love for a lot of other types of music. And the first album that I ever bought was by Phyllis Hyman. And it was such an awesome thing because I loved her statuesque, how tall she was. I loved her clothing, her attire. I loved how beautiful she was. And then that voice. And it was so weird because I had such a low registry voice. I didn't really feel like there was anything I could do in R&B or classic soul. I was more so looking at, oh my gosh, what do you do with a vocal cord like this? So
Yes.
it was never a thing where I felt like I could cross over per se. So I never really looked at it like I would do anything but sing in church. And so when an opportunity presented itself, for me to do an audition, I went for it because again, I had loved all types of music, and I had a few times dabbled in going into auditions. Not auditions, but like if people had talent shows and stuff, I do them, but I always felt like I never liked competitions. But this particular audition was in Philadelphia, and it was for to join a girl group. So I thought, let me just try it and see what happens. And I won the audition. I won, and I became the fourth member of Fierce.
Oh my God. Okay. So what you say you started the church. So what did you come from, like a strict church background?
No, actually, my parents didn't go to church. So I went to church with one of my girlfriends who lived down the street from me. And, kind of like from there, it took on a life of its own. And I continued to go and, of course, being a member of the church and all. So that's kind of like how my exposure to it and introduction started. But I absolutely loved it, and I loved the people, but my parents were never highly involved in church, not at all.
Okay, because I know a lot of people that started in church and then they go off to sing R&B, and then you come back to the church, the people looking at you like, so
it's that side eye, like,
you gonna get saved today? Because you in here talking about
that's secular music,
it's secular.
So, I know all about that. Now, I had to go through that, right? I had to go through the fire, sure.
So when you was singing in church, like who were some of the church people that you listened to growing up that you wanted to,
Oh my God, definitely Shirley Caesar. Definitely. I always loved CeCe Winans, Oleta Adams. It was just like a lot of different ones in a lot of groups, and I definitely love John P. Key. Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, it was so many. I mean, there's one who was, I forgot his name. It slips my mind, but he was really good and he was blind. I can't think of his name. Heavy set guy. But boy, he could blow. Oh my gosh. I can't think of his name.
You got me on that one.
For the end. Yeah, but he was amazing. Yeah. I love that. And I used to think, gosh, he's blind and he still can, get in church and worship and praise the Lord like that. I mean, it was just like nothing handicapped him. It was amazing. And that was a great impression it left upon me.
Oh man, that's great. So you did the audition, then you made it into Fierce. How was that? So tell us about the group Fierce. What were y'all like?
Well, we all had different personalities, and to be totally transparent, I was the oldest of all of them. But of course, the industry has you lie about your age, so
of course.
So the girls were great, and we were like sisters, really. I mean, we loved each other, and we loved being together and doing stuff together. And the music is still, we had such great harmony and all. We had gone on BJ in the Morning Show and done like a jingle for him. And we traveled with Boyz II Men because their manager was Brad Rubin. So they were preparing us to take on a role of being a girl group that was going to be out there, and it got to a point where I didn't feel like that was the direction that I wanted to go in because of some of the things we had to sacrifice or do as far as dressing and places we had to go, things like that. So I didn't feel too comfortable with that. And as a senior member, I started looking at things from a perspective of what is it that I want to have as a legacy, or what do I want to say is really what I wanted to do with my life. And if that was the direction or career I really wanted to take. And I felt like if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And as much as I love the girls, I just decided that wasn't really what I wanted to do. And it was a hard decision, mind you. It was not easy at all, but I thought it was better for me not to stick with that. That wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. And so after that, they all, we ended up, everybody went their own separate ways. We didn't stay together. They didn't stay together, I should say. Yeah.
So how long were you in the group, and how long was the group together?
I'd say the group was together for 2 years, and I stayed all the time that we were together. I was there. And I think after all they'd gone through to audition and have somebody else come in, it was kind of like tough for, to replace that. And we all had such a great sound and all, but everybody's got to be happy. And it's just not right if you just do something because somebody else wants you to do it. So even then, to me, and being, as I said, an older member, I felt like you just know that you don't want to do that, and it's not fair to them to just keep going along with it because of whatever reason. So I just decided it wasn't the best direction, even though, you know, a lot of times when we're young, we'll do stuff because you get to be exposed to Boys to Men, or you get to be exposed to an environment or people or situations, circumstances that might be beneficial to you. So you hope, you know what I mean? It doesn't always work out that way. But then there's a lot of sacrifices you may make as well. And that's the part no, that wasn't for me.
So what around what year was this when y'all were working with Boys to Men?
We can't say the year, you know, I don't know. A lady never tells certain things. Now, you know,
Is this the Cooley High part, or is this the
after that? No, it was after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. But it was a great learning experience, and traveling with them taught a lot, because you got to see all the fans and the women who come to the hotel. They find out where they at the hotel. I couldn't tell you how they find that out. That was crazy. And being exposed to going to restaurants when they're already closed, or movie theaters when they would open it up to prepare food for them after a show or something, because, you know, during the normal time when everybody else is there, you can't eat the same. So it was great. I mean, and their mothers and homes were wonderful, because they always opened their home to us. So we all had a great time, and it was great to experience that lifestyle. But that will tell you if you're up for it or not, seriously, when you're doing all that. You
Absolutely. know? So you
ain't no money in it. You know, when you got a manager and he paying for your outfits and stuff, ain't no money, and you ain't gonna see no money. Now,
they make you look good like you have money, and then when it's time to, you're like, no, we spent that on your dress. I didn't ask for this dress. Like, what are you talking about?
That's exactly right. Oh, Lord, I'm telling you. So I must say, to be totally transparent, I came out of this, and it was such a blessing, because even though I wasn't planning to really stick with that and go in that direction, I know I owed some money to somebody. But now, you know what? Statute of limitations is over. Sister, even if she owed some money, she owed no money now, because she ain't got no money and she didn't get no money. And I know that they put a lot into us doing that. But at the same time, you know, I think, I'm sure he was upset, my manager. There's no question. Oh my God.
Yeah, hey, sometimes, like, in life, you got to follow your gut. Like, if something don't feel right, then remove yourself from it, or you will suffer the consequences.
It's so true. It's so true. And the sad part is, a lot of times we do make those sacrifices and we don't feel good about them. But a lot of times when I was younger, I did things because somebody else wanted me to do them. So I came to a place where I said, I can't just continue to do stuff to make other people happy if I'm miserable. I don't want to live out of a suitcase. You know what I mean? Like, some people are good with that. They're like, let me just go. I don't care if I can make no money. I'm around these people. But I was always like, man, what go in your pocket ain't going in mine.
See, some people live out of a car or a suitcase just so they can have a story. I'm like, look, yes, you slept in your car, but you didn't have to. You have a house. You didn't have to.
Exactly.
You're not gonna make a movie about your life because you slept in the car. You know how many people slept in the car?
No, I ain't.
1 million. So
right. Exactly. And you know how many people make it that actually slept in their car? Not many. Exactly. That is so real. Oh man.
If nobody else say it, I'll say it, because I follow R&B, so I know how it goes. Y'all have the same story as rappers, but rappers kind of got it kind of easier, because like, they're threatening. Like, I'm not saying y'all aren't, but like they're like, rappers have a lifespan. They have a lifespan in a career and in real life. It depends on how hard you are. So so you can look at a rapper.
That's interesting.
You can look at a rapper and be like, yeah, he ain't gonna be out that long, because they're gonna create somebody that's just like him, and you're gonna take a spot. Now, when it comes to y'all, a couple of R&B, like, you can't emulate every last one of y'all, because you have your vocals. You know, Mariah Carey has her vocals. You can't emulate. So when managers try to get, you know, R&B singers to do certain things, like, they need y'all more than you need them, and they don't want you to know that.
All right. Thank you for that tidbit. I appreciate it.
They don't want you to know that. They're like, look, we're gonna flex our muscles. Like, they need us, we need them. So when you stop singing, they're like, yo, what you doing? Like, we get in the studio, what you gonna do? So like, I applaud you for standing your ground when it comes to the group thing. You saw something, you got out. You like, look, this ain't me.
Right.
So I'm glad you wasn't in the group too long to like get
right. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
Because when
So
you
true.
went solo, you're like, okay, like this is
Mhm.
my start. 2 years
Right.
after, like this, okay, let's go. So how is it working
Right.
solo versus working in the group? You like that better?
Yeah, I actually do. And it was all on a fluke because when I decided to do this singing thing, I had, remained in church all those years and just singing in church. And, Donald Robinson, who's the Grammy nominated producer that I've worked with on all three of the recent
Yes.
songs, he's my friend. He's somebody I've known my whole life. So whenever he would see me or talk to me, he'd be like, "So, how's your singing going?" I'd say, "Oh, I'm still singing in church." And he'd be like, "Okay," but he never forced on me the idea of recording, right? So he always knew the potential I had, but I didn't want to go in that direction, and he never forced me. So what happened was when I was I thought, since I love so many different types of music, I want to just put a band together. So I did. And when I put the band together, I was like, man, we've been doing local gigs and venues. I was getting bookings. I was doing my own thing. I didn't know I could do it. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was amazing. People were like, sure, we'll hire you for the mayor's office to do the dignitaries dinner. And I was like, okay. I've sang at Robert Wood Johnson. I've been everywhere in the tri-state region and beyond. I had people hiring me to come to different states to sing for their anniversary services or whatever, but it's been amazing. And then of course I still did a lot of church functions that people asked me to come in and do different stuff. But I will tell you, when I was singing at some of these venues, my friends, because I started doing shows myself, like selling the tickets, renting out like the Westin Ballroom or something. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just have great shows for my people that I love, who love me, that just
Exactly.
support me. And so when they would come, they'd say, "Well, Mary, how come you're always doing covers? Like, why don't you have any music of your own that we can buy?" And I was like, well, I never had an interest in doing that. I don't want to record. After my bad experience from back in the day with Fierce, I was like, I ain't trying to do that. But they were like, we really would like to buy some of your music. So they got on my nerves about it so much. I must be honest. I was like, Lord, let me call Donald. So I said, Donald, listen, we've been friends a long time. I don't care if the song's about dirty sweat socks. Can you please write a song? I don't care what it sounds like. Just give me anything. I'll just sing it. Then the next time I have a show, and I had a show coming up in that May, and he was like, okay. So he wrote a song. And then he told me about it. And we finally went in the studio. It took me 3 tries because I had a bad cold the first 2 times we tried it. But the third time was a charm. So we went in, we did the song, and I never thought another thing about it. And then when we had the show, we debuted the song and everybody loved it. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And so then I was like, well, that's just because they love me. You know what I mean? People know you. Of course they want to support you. They'll tell you it sounds good even when it don't, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
So I started, there was a person named KJ Magic who was out of the UK, and I had sent him a copy of the song. I don't know how he heard it or something, but he asked for the MP3. So I sent it to him, and then he started giving it out to people in the UK and telling me who he wanted me to contact, and this person you should do. So all these DJs in the UK started playing the song on their shows, and when they did that, it opened up a whole new fan base. So then they were like, well, when is you coming out with another song? I was like, hold up, wait a minute, that's all the song I got. That's like putting the cart before the horse. I had no idea what to do. And so Donald was like, well, you don't have another song. We got to make a song. I was like, well, I can't just make a song. And so from that's how I really got into the recording thing. I wasn't trying to go in that direction. It was all by what I would say accident. But I must say, everybody from church would say, Lord have mercy. If you don't sound like Phyllis Hyman singing that gospel song, I'd be like, I can't get away from the tonalities these people hear with my voice.
You gave them, what they've been wanting to hear, because there's some voices that like they don't come too often. So it's not too often you go by somebody, you hear Phyllis Hyman. You got that voice. So you gave them a song that they needed, and how it blew up, that's a blessing. So now,
yeah, absolutely.
You have a song. Now you have to come up with another song.
Exactly. So the great thing is, when I did the first one, it was, In Love There's a Risk, and it was like such a great song. And then I did a vote anthem because we had a song that we were calling a house song. I forgot what the other name was going to be, but I asked Donald, I said, I want to change it to a public service announcement because I love doing things to inspire people. So I said, I want to make it into just a vote song, like to encourage people to vote. Because listen, we needed that presidential election to go right. Okay, I want everybody to feel good about going out to vote. So I told him, let's change the words. So I changed the lyrics and we called it You Can Change It. And that's kind of like how we gave birth to that. And I just like a couple of months before the election, I just started playing it everywhere and giving it to people, giving it to DJs and saying, listen, I know people are not getting together. They're not dancing. We're not trying to promote that with the pandemic, but I just want people to feel good about the song. Then the UK picked up on that song. I was like, Lord, they pick up on anything I write. This is crazy. So it was really good, but I was humbled by it. And I thought, wow, this is really awesome. And that was last November. And then this song, I was driving down the highway and the melody came to me. And I was like, oh, wow. So I pulled over and I took my little mic thing out and I put the melody on there, hummed it. And then when I got home, the words of the chorus came to me like, promise that you love me. So when I did that, I was like, golly, this sounds like a nice chorus for a song. And then I told Donald, and then Donald took the harmony, the sound that I made, and he said, well, let me work with it. And he created it into this beautiful song, which is Promise. And for me, I was like, oh my goodness. And then I wrote the lyrics and he helped me in one area that I had a problem with lyrics on, Silver Linings. So he helped me with that part. And then I was like so proud of myself because I was like, wow, I really consider myself now a songwriter, like, you know, singing everybody else's song my whole life. And now I'm actually singing something that I birthed. It's amazing.
So when you said you wanted to be just a cover band, like, was it for a specific artist or you want to just cover everybody's music?
No, I would do everybody, but what made me so popular, I must say, was because I was doing songs like Denise Williams. You know, like a lot of people that's doing covers are doing regular stuff. Everybody here like Shaka Khan or this one. I wouldn't do any of that. I would do Nora Jones. I would do Sarah Bareilles. I would do like everybody I did.
Lesser known, like, well, they're more known, but you would do something that's not common.
Exactly. Okay. None of my stuff was common, and they'd be like, "Well, who's that song by?" And I love that song. It was just Corinne Bailey Rae. I would do all of the different songs that were great music, yes, but stuff that people took for granted and didn't really do. Yes. And from that, they were like, "Oh man, I gotta go to Mary's show." And so then I every now and again sprinkle in some Phyllis Hyman, but I didn't want people to, you know, put me in that little box and say that's what you got. Like no. And I always am clear about I'm not trying to emulate Phyllis. All I want to do is keep her memory alive, her music alive, and the fact that I love her music. I don't, when I sing her songs, I'm not trying to sound like her. It's just the vocal box, man. I got nothing. I can't even take credit for that. But people say that, you know what I mean? That's why I'm very cautious about making sure on anything that people write up that they're clear that I'm not saying that I sound like Phyllis. I'm saying that some people say I have tonalities like her, so they don't get it twisted. Because, you know, people love Phyllis and they'll jack you up. You start talking that trash like you can. I don't say that. I ain't trying to even take credit for that. But I do appreciate, oh gosh, I so appreciate when they say those kind things or think that I do have that sound. And what you said at the start is absolutely right. People do love her and they miss her music. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like a different place that I'm in or a different space where when I'm singing something and they feel something, it's like, wow, maybe that's how Phyllis would have sang it if she were still here. Or maybe that's something that reminds me of her because the way you sound, you know, is similar. And I appreciate that because her music is what I call classic soul. Gladys Knight, it's just something about that music that you don't need a lot. It's like almost effortless. You just do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's it's not cookie cutter. And
no,
I don't know.
I fully understand what you mean because like you said, people miss Phyllis, so they look for somebody to replace, you know, people that are no longer here. Phyllis is no longer here, so they look for the next, you know, person in line to take that place.
Right.
So I understand why you don't want to be put in that box because they would keep you in that box.
Right. Exactly. So well said. And that's my thing. And because I love so many different types of music, I just want to honor the music of other people, but at the same time, do it because I love it. Like it's my heart. You know, when I sing stuff, it means something to me. I don't just sing to sing. I remember Nancy Wilson, when I used to listen to her, she always said a song should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And for me, that's important. And it's also important that you are able to convince the audience of whatever it is you're singing. If you can't do that, then you failed. You've lost them. You know, to me, it's important that it goes beyond just singing a song or saying, I'm going to get up there and put on a dress and do whatever. Nope. My whole thing is about, I appreciate them driving from whatever location they came from, past all these other venues they could have gone to or to see other artists, and they chose to come and see me and spend that evening with me. So I want to make it an experience. So the part that I'm missing now is that I can't fellowship with them like I'm used to. Like I'll go out in the crowd and give them the microphone, and then we'll play around. We'll have one side of the audience singing something, somebody singing something else. Anybody's birthday, anniversary, I always put you on the spot. I'm gonna be singing to you, your mother, your cousin, and everybody else. We have a good time, and I make it an experience. And it's so important to me. That's why I always call myself Mary Cross, to inspire you, because it's important that we inspire people, because you don't know what situation they're coming out of, what they've been through, what their situation as far as their money is looking like, but they want to feel good. People want to feel good. A lot of times they haven't had any human contact, like a hug or just somebody telling them something in positive acknowledgement for a long time. And I want to be part of the legacy that wants to tell people and let them know now how much I appreciate them and what they're, contributing to my life just by coming to a show that I performed at or supporting a song that I've written. I just appreciate them. When I had over 15,000 streams the first couple of days, I was like, oh my gracious, oh my goodness. It was overwhelming. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So I was so honored. I didn't know. I wish I could have just hugged everybody who believed in me.
Because at first you didn't want to do it. So now look at you. So I know people was like, told you so. Told you so.
Exactly. So it's been a great ride, I guess I'm finding my identity and understanding what my true purpose is. Like, it's beyond just what I thought, to go to work every day and come home and my family, because I don't have any small children and anything like that. So now I can focus on what I want to do, and I'm just in such a great place. It just makes me feel wonderful. So I can actually call myself a songwriter. I never thought of myself like a songwriter. I just thought I like all types of music, but all those things become part of the fabric of your life, all your experiences. So I kind of get it now.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
So pretty much when it comes to R&B, there's different, lanes and different types of R&B. You got the secular R&B, then you got the make you feel good R&B, you got the clean house R&B.
Right.
So what type of R&B were you leaning towards, when you started, songwriting and everything?
Yeah, I would say that it is classic R&B or classic soul. And the reason I say that is because I love Nancy Wilson and Phyllis Hyman and Oleta Adams and other artists like Liz Wright, who are gracious and they're ladies, and I love to wear gowns and hats. And, my whole thing is about, I will tell you how it started. I went to a show one time, a comedy show, and there was the opening act. So we were waiting, my friend and I were waiting for the opening act to start. And I kept saying, ooh, I wonder who they are, what they look like, or where they're at, because I couldn't see them. So when they announced them, they got up to do the opening. That singing group, they could sing, but boy, the lead singer, she had on some kind of ripped up jeans and the crotch was exposed in the back. Boy. It wasn't an attractive outfit. And I thought, all these people in here, even if you're the opening act, doesn't matter. You should give them that respect and show, a better, gracious look,
Yes.
to do that. And I felt like your presentation is everything as far as first impression. So the days of women who would dress in gowns and hats and have a statuesque thing like Phyllis did, those are not here anymore. Absolutely. So I haven't seen many of them. So I'm saying my brand has always been, I love glam. Mm-hmm. Glamour's my whole thing, man. I call myself a stylista because I love to dress, but I also love music, and I love to give people an actual experience. It's not about performing, because I'm being genuine. I just am just being Mary. So for me, it's so important to give people everything you can so that they remember the occasion and they also want to see you again. And sometimes I change my attire 2-3 times, even if I had a wow moment. So I just think they deserve that, because I remember shows we would go to. Remember Luther Vandross? Well, maybe not. Luther Vandross used to do shows where he would change his clothes a couple of times. He had on sequin jacket one way, and he'd come out later on something else. You'd be like, oh my! So those kind of things meant something. Prince would do it. Yes. Like and I'm not even comparing myself to them. I'm just saying, when you are somebody who is giving them everything, you're leaving it on the floor. When you're done, you don't want to just limit it to, oh, I can sing. It's not even about that. So many great gifted artists in the world. You want to make it so that your moment when you're there is something that they remember. I love to, that's how the best way I can explain it is to give them an experience and they appreciate what I have to offer. You know, I'm just an indie artist who loves to sing, and I love to minister in song. I love people, period. And I hope that that comes across. And again, I have to say, my favorite quote is, may every place that our feet trod be better off simply because we passed through. Because it's an experience to have you in their lives or have me in their lives in that moment in time. Nothing's promised. We done learned that even more so this year, didn't we?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
We've been learning. We definitely been learning, but I think this is the time where we sit back and watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Isn't it
like,
great
oh,
to sit back and watch finally?
like we told you so. And so we're pretty much at that point in our lives, pretty much. So when you like you said, you've performed everywhere. I've seen where you at weddings, you perform.
Yes.
Walmart if they ask you. So it's just so you pretty much wherever they're like, yo, come here, can you do a show? And you're like, I can do it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Macy's called me one day to do they used to have that family and friends thing. Yes. They said, can you come to the mall and do it out and for Christmas? Absolutely, we got you. Whatever it takes, wherever you want me to come, I'm gonna come. It's gonna be good too.
You and your glamour. And it's funny you say that because like, yeah, I can't picture watching artists of the 60s, you know, wearing what Beyonce would wear on stage. I can't picture Diana like, stop in the name. I'm like, she ain't got no clothes on. Where? I know,
right? Oh my God.
So I fully understand, like, because with women, y'all have it harder because it's judgment from the gate.
Absolutely.
Whether you're skinny, whether you're big, whether you're light, dark, we're judging what you have on. So what a woman has on, like people are judging. So you said the girl came out of ripped jeans, crotch out.
Yeah, crotch.
Looking at her like, oh, okay, we know what kind of girl she is.
Right.
You don't want people to judge you based off what you're wearing.
Exactly. And some will tune you out. Like it's amazing. First impressions really make a difference. And as I said, she could blow. She was good. The band was good, but they just didn't have that presentation to show even the venue the respect that I feel like you want to do that, and the comedy act that was coming after them, that kind of respect that you say, I acknowledge that we're all in this together and we want to give a whole show that no matter who's performing at any given point, you feel like you got a great show from everybody.
It's good. It's funny when I see, you know, people with like that type of clothing on, and I just look at the old people in the audience. I'm like, let me see what their face is. And when they're over there like this, just like, yep, they don't approve.
Oh, that look. Yes, that look. It's true. Oh, that's so real.
And then they where's the piece of paper they have, like they were in church and they whisper. Like, I'm like, woo! Yeah, they talk about you. They talk about you.
Without a doubt, they talk about them. They sure talk about them. I'm gonna tell you, indeed. Oh my God, and they got no shame.
We need to invite her to church because what she has
look, she need to go put a slip on, and she need to pull her pants up. Can you believe that? I can tell you. Yeah, I've seen it and I've heard it. Oh yes.
But see, anytime I bring that up to older women, I'm like, I don't want to hear what y'all gotta say. Miss Stocking Caps, like all the stockings they used to come up to the thigh. Miss Gladys with the little.
Ooh, child. Come on.
Like, you better hush up because yours wasn't no better. You hear me?
I know.
Hush up.
Yeah, get out of here with that. Oh my God, so true. It's so true.
Because it's with you know, with R&B, the current state of R&B is like it does. It's like it never even, you know, was great before, because you know in the 90s you had 80s and 90s you had so many great artists. They all stood out. Now it's like R&B didn't even, you know, exist like the way it did. It's like you have auto-tune and you have, you know, singers trying to sound like rappers, and then they put a rapper on the song, and it don't feel the same. You know, that's why I think give it a couple years, I think it'll be back to where it's just pure raw vocals. And like, what's your take on like how R&B, you know, changed?
Yeah, well, first off, I do love a lot of the artists of like Snow Allegra and her. and folks like that. I really love their vocals and their music. And I do feel like that people are starved. I don't know how else to put it when it comes to classic soul and R&B, because they don't have that, like you said, that sound of Phyllis Hyman or other artists, because many of them have passed away. Anita Baker is like, oh my gosh, when she retired, it's like, wow, what are we going to do? And Gladys Knight's in her 80s now. So when you think about who's left to perform these type of songs, who's the next generation that's coming along that is able to do them and wants to do them and show that kind of respect. And one of the things I've heard a lot, there are certain words people have described my voice as. Some say it has an innocence to it. They hear Phyllis in it, but then they say it has this innocence. And they said, you know, when Phyllis was alive, many of them have these great stories about having met her, or I've never met her, okay, and I've never seen her live, okay. But other people that have remember they used to go to her performances and all, and they would say, you know, your sound is organic, or it sounds like there's a feeling, like an emotion in it when you it's so hard for them to really describe, but they say they feel it. It's different than what you hear, like when you mentioned how you could put these things on a voice to make it sound a certain way. I don't have any of that, and I think that Donald, in producing me, really wanted to keep it, you know, as natural as possible, or as close to that. And it's interesting because, yeah, that seems to be the thing that most people say, with that innocence, or that purity, or it sounds like clear water. Like it's something about it that just doesn't have all the other stuff, and it makes them sit up and take notice or listen, like really listen. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you say, oh, I hear the song great, and then you just go about your business and it's in your head. But then there's sometimes that I guess when you hear something and it makes you stop and be like, wait a minute, hold up. And then I've heard also from people that have said they can listen to Promise over and over again. You know, usually a song, you be like, I got one time, I'm good. But when you have somebody say, that's a great compliment to the work that Donald did to produce it, with Carl Cox on sax and, you know, the other
replay value. Like,
wow,
anytime your songs replay, it means a lot, because you can drop an album today and people are like, yo, it's a good album, but are they listening to it, you know, next year or 5 years from now? You need that. So your voice is as pure as it comes. I love it.
Aw, thank you so much.
I'm glad you don't do the auto-tune thing, because that is, I might leave that to Roger Trout. Like, he's gone.
Right.
T-Pain took it and went to another level. Yes, but I'm like, when I hear an auto-tune R&B song on the radio, I'm like, oh God, turn it off.
Oh man, turn it down, right?
Because usually the person can sing. I'm like, why do you need
right?
Yeah. But it's a thing with our people. Like when you know, we kind of abandoned R&B, and we don't really care much until we see somebody white doing it.
Yeah, that's true. That's real.
Because when Justin and John B and Robin Thicke and Bruno Mars, some people have so much to say about Bruno Mars. Like he's cultural appropriation. I'm like, yeah, I know he's Hawaiian, so that's kind of black. And he did an album that was legit that we should have been doing, but we abandoned that style of music. So you can't do that.
There you go. Exactly. Oh my God.
It's an untouched, like nobody's making funk music anymore. Nobody's doing, you know, a certain type of R&B. So let that man have it. So with you, I feel like you're in the pond, you know, kind of by yourself, because you have a unique style about you that we don't get a lot. Like we have a Corinne Bailey Rae, we have, you know, the and everything, and we have you. So I really appreciate for you being in a pond of water with that group of artists, and something that we've been getting that hasn't really been making a mark like it should.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I love Promise. I listened to that actually before you got on. I'm like, I haven't heard this in a while. Like I picked up my broom. I'm like, let me go and start cleaning up. Like, the type of music I haven't heard in a while. I'm started washing walls. I'm like, why is my house clean? It wasn't even dirty. Like,
oh my God, that is so good. Why the house clean? Where the broom at? Come on.
Broom? Like, come on, like get this. Come on, we cleaning today. Let's go.
They like, don't put that song on no more. I'm tired of him in this room.
I just started cleaning the neighbor's house. They're like, who are you? I'm like, hey, Promise is on. Shh. Sit down. Sit down.
That's so great. I swear that is so good. You are amazing. Oh God.
But I really so what came, where did you come up with the name Into Inspire? Like what made you come up with that?
Yeah, well, because I had put my band together, and people used to say, well, why would you put a band together, or you can just work with this one over here? Because a lot of artists that I knew, friends of mine, they would say, girl, it's hard putting a band together, keeping a band together. And I will tell you, when I first started, I had gone through my challenges, but I had to fire people. And I don't even like to use the word fire, but they just were not working out. Like they weren't reliable. They didn't want to come to rehearsal. They wouldn't learn the stuff before rehearsal, and they wanted to use the rehearsal as time to learn it. Like it was so many different things I had to deal with. And then some want to come late for the gig, like stuff. And so for me, it was like, if I'm going to represent anything, then the brand has to be right. And that means that I'm relied upon by whoever it is that books me. I don't care if you're getting $5 or $5,000. Bottom line is you got to honor that. So I felt it was important that if you're going to ride with me, I don't care if I'm nobody to anybody. The bottom line is for you to be a part of what we're doing. I need you to be able to commit to what we're trying to do so that we're all in this together. And certain people just weren't willing to do that, or they didn't really believe, but they, were trying to hang in there for a minute. And I realized that after a while, I had one I ran into at a wedding I did this past summer, and I hadn't seen him. He was a guy, I ain't gonna say what instrument he plays, he might hear me, but he said to me how he was apologetic for not, the place and space he was in, and how he didn't really, support as he wish he had, and he was very happy for me. So I'm saying people will see you grow, because the thing is, either you're gonna grow or you're not. And I ain't letting nobody stop me from what I'm doing. And remember, I didn't really have a vision. My whole thing was to make a difference. Like when I was telling them, okay, in the beginning, we might have to do gigs that we're not getting paid for. Y'all on board or not? Now, I never lied. I thought that was very important to be honest with everybody I work with, so they understood. If we got paid a gig and we didn't make a lot of money and we had to disperse it evenly to everybody, they all knew, and they were willing to go take the ride with me because I wasn't full of crap. You know what I mean? I was honest. And so for me, it was like, I want to make sure we give them an experience. So what we do has to be to inspire you. Everybody should feel inspired. By the time they're done or leave the show or hear me afterwards or once, I want them to be inspired. And that's all that matters to me. I don't care if I don't ever get paid. There are times I've never gotten money for a gig. I'd make sure they were paid, but I didn't get anything. And I didn't care about that because I wanted to make sure that the main thing we did was leave an impression so that they knew they were loved, appreciated, and that I understood what it took for somebody to give you their ear for an evening or for just one song. You don't get that often. People are like so quick to go on to something else. They don't want to listen to nothing else going on. They're really, they're just into this new social media, the new way things are. Okay, I heard that for 30 seconds. Okay, gotta go. And they're on to something else. And you're like, well, what about this? And they don't always give you that. They don't give you that time. If you don't get them within the first little bit of time, you might be done. Right? So.
And then the people don't get, like you said, a lot of us haven't, we don't always get paid. There's always some kind of jankiness going on. And
janky, man, come on with the janky for sure. I know. Let me say it again. I said, I know, okay? I know. Lord have mercy, I know. But you know what? I don't regret not one time. I don't regret anything. And every opportunity has led to even greater. Those times when I've done something, I've sang it. I had the band go with me, and we sang at hospitals for free for Christmas time just to make people feel good. We have done so many things or made so little money that we still, whatever it is, it's so many different experiences I could tell you about, but they've always been worth it because in the end, the guys will ride with me. They will go to the end of the earth with me. And I'm so honored and grateful for that because it's so hard to find that. And I get it. But everything I do, I want to be honest. I want to be of integrity. I want to make sure I'm upfront with them, and I want them to know how I feel about them and that this ain't no joke or no game. And everything I've ever said when I said, well, I don't know where this is going to lead, but I just want us to perform for such and such. And I don't know this because I never understood it or looked at it like I was trying to do something else. You know, I didn't know I was going to record. It wasn't what I was trying to do. But they were always ride or die. Even to this day, they are ride or die. So I'm just honored. And I know a lot of people like, I don't know how you doing that. It's God, honey. I ain't got
I
nothing
know
to do.
you love it. That's how I know you love it, because I swear if they do a 2021 version of Titanic and it goes down, I know you'll be playing.
Exactly.
Where Mary Cross at? Oh, she over there playing as the ship goes down. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah, she
playing.
loves
That's
it.
playing. Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
And her
yeah,
mic's going in and out.
I'm like, yeah, she loves it. I'm like, where the lifeboats at? Mary, I love you, but
Exactly.
you on your own.
Exactly.
Black
They're gonna be like,
people
Mary,
don't
look,
water.
it's only one lifeboat left. I'll be like, listen, I got a job to do over here. Come on now. It's gonna be all right, because the Lord gonna take care of me. When it go under, it is what it is. I can't help you.
Mary, I swear, if I was in your band, I'd be in the lifeboat playing. I'm like, yo, it was good while it lasted, but I'm taking it with me. I love you, but Black people don't do cold water. I'm sorry. We
Well, you know we don't. You know we don't.
don't.
But I'll be like, look, I'm gonna give everybody some liquor. You know, they don't usually drink liquor. That make it warm up for a minute.
Oh my God. Yo, I know you love your craft, and that's what matters, because there's a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah, I do.
They're in it for other reasons, for
Yeah.
women or money or the bottles, the mansions, the cars.
Right,
You're performing in hospitals, but like I know people that would throw a fit. Yo, the hospital ain't got my money. We ain't doing it. I'm like, bro, this is for kids. What are you doing? Hey, what you doing?
It's true. It's true. It's so true. Oh my God, that's true. And you know what? I've had experiences with some musicians who I've run into who were all about the money. You can always tell, because the first thing they want to know when you need them for something, if your musician isn't available, how much is it paying? You know, they want to know when they get paid, how much and then half the time, like sometimes I've even had one guy who came late to the thing and then wanted to leave early because he had another gig somebody called him about while he was at my gig. And I was like, listen, he was a mess. And my keyboard player was like, you should have docked him. And I was like, you know what? I didn't understand about docking people and stuff. Yeah. So I always feel like it's better to be a person of integrity. So although I still paid you, you will not work with me anymore. That's pretty much how I live my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't work with you. I appreciate you. I respect you. I ain't got no problem with that. That was the route you chose. Exactly. So now I got nothing for you. So when you come back asking, hey, any opportunity? I ain't got no opportunity. No, I ain't got no opportunity for nobody. You know, you got to stand for something or you fall for anything, right?
It's a dirty game. Like I'm a comic.
It's a dirty game. Come on.
I perform for a lot of people, and I know when the promoter don't got my money when they do the back scratch. Yeah. So I'm like, your neck ain't hurting that bad. Why are you rubbing it so hard? And like I'm a comedian, so like they be like, yeah. Last week we was packed. You know, the OJ's in town this week. I'm like, OJ's. I'm like, that's not even my crowd. What are you talking about? Like, go somewhere. Like, no, you ain't had the money to begin with. I'm gonna do the show, but like, exactly, I'm not gonna mess with you after this. No.
Right. Exactly. We learned.
Everybody in Atlanta.
Everybody.
So.
Nope. I appreciate that. And see, we can talk like that because that's real. Yeah, that's the reality of it. But that's how you understand the journey that we're taking. And I don't hold a grudge. I don't take it personal. It is what it is. But I won't be coming around your way again. Not no one more again. You got that one opportunity, because it's the same for us. You know, the impression that you leave on somebody, if you're not about it, you know, you don't want to be late. You don't want to do stuff wrong. You want to do your best. If it's something beyond your control, that's one thing. But when people do stuff, I can't work with cheesy or that other stuff, all those negative adjectives. I got nothing. I can't do it. It doesn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well with me when I was with Fierce either. Yeah. That's why I ain't with them. You see what I'm saying? All right. And it might have took a long time for me to get to today. But I wasn't looking for today, but I'm here.
That's what I like to hear. Exactly. You got what? You have an album that you dropped in 2019, correct?
Actually, no, I did the single in 2019, and then I did the anthem, the voter anthem in last year. So this year when we dropped Promise, it was just another song. So my album is called the 2021 Love Project, because all of the material that I'm doing is all related to love. And the one thing I did want to tell you in regard to Promise that inspired me, here I go with the word inspire again. I should make it my middle name. is when I was thinking about that song and I said, "Promise that you'll love me." I was thinking about how we don't celebrate couples, and when I say couples, I mean those who have made the promise.
Mhm.
Like, you know how a lot of people say, "I've been with someone, that's my baby mama, whatever," but they ain't make the promise, right? Then you
Yes.
got somebody else over here who will say, "I got married, and I got three weddings in last year that were all newlyweds." And when you think about them being newlyweds during a pandemic, that's like deep. Y'all got married during a pandemic. You ain't never gonna forget that. And then I even have couples up to 55 years who've been married, and one that was a 50-year marriage, and they actually counseled my husband and I. So what I found is that, you know how when you talk about, say for instance, you have parents who are married and they've been married 40 years, 30 years, it's a silver anniversary, a gold anniversary, but usually people celebrate that day, right?
Yes.
They ain't celebrating you every year that you done made it through another year of marriage, because we know marriage ain't easy. Let's
It's
be
not.
clear, okay?
I've
And
never been
no
married, but I've seen it. I'm like, oh no,
seen it
no.
firsthand. See what I'm saying? So how about we just celebrate the fact that somebody made the promise? I'm not talking about you've been married 5 times. I'm not talking about how long you've been married. It's more so just to celebrate the idea that you made the promise. And nobody's done that. So I thought, how nice to celebrate people who have actually made the promise. So when I initially wanted to do the video, I wanted to do it based off of couples and put the pictures of them in there while my song was running in the background and just say, ah. So what I ended up doing with the videographer, he was like, "Mary, we ain't doing that."
Mhm.
so what happened was that I think you saw the trailer for the video, correct?
I
Did you see
did.
the trailer for the video?
I did.
So that was kind of like, we did the intro with the song that was my first release. And
Yes.
then the song Promise itself comes in afterwards, and there's a whole new storyline with a different actor. But the bottom line was, at the end of the video, I wanted us to have an outro that would have couples that I personally know
Yes.
who are married, no matter how long they've been married. And as I said, from newlywed straight through 55 years. And so I put their first names and then how many years that they made the promise. And that's what I did on each of the slides that goes through. So that's kind of like what we decided to do. And it's celebrating them. It says celebrating and dedicated to all who have made the promise. It's not just here, it's worldwide, anybody and everybody. And I'm hoping that it becomes something that inspires people. I'm not telling you to get married. I'm just saying that with all that's happened in 2020, we need to take seriously relationships again, and the commitment that we should make and how we treat others, and the love that we have for them by letting them know. So for me, I just want to be a part of making a difference. Valentine's Day is coming, and I just want people to feel like, you know what, this was a good thing, to know that we got married or to know that we made that commitment. Because as I say, every day it can be a challenge. Sometimes it's harder than others. Sometimes you feel misunderstood, you don't communicate well, or whatever. And it's so much easier for people to walk away than it is for them to want to stick in there and go through the sacrifices. And one of the things that was amazing to me, when we were counseled by the couple that had been married for 50 years, they taught us things about what they went through that we were thinking we probably the only ones that ever been through something. And they told us stuff that was, you just have your eyes open and
Exactly.
respectful about, this is not easy. So I get it now. I get it. So it's just a beautiful thing to celebrate them, because nobody celebrates people who've made the commitment. After that wedding day, they like, you on your own. Go on out there. Do it.
Especially a lot of people involuntarily got married this past year because they were stuck in the house with that person. So you ain't had no choice.
Or they killed each other. One of them.
It-
One of the two. Holy cow.
It's funny you mention that because a lot of albums they don't have intros, outros, or skits anymore. So that's very unique that you had a intro and an outro because
Yeah.
it's just something that we grew up on. That I'm 29, so I really can't say. Well, I'm a
Uh-huh.
90s baby, so I heard I did my research, so I know how songs used to start and everything. So it's just like
Yes.
we don't get that no more. Now we get albums
Nope.
that just start off, okay, track 1, track 2, track 3.
Yep. True.
Back then, you had an intro, like they come in
Man.
on the song on the intro, yeah. Like, okay,
Yes.
it's gonna be good. They hollering already. Let's go.
Remember Reasons? You remember how long Reasons was by Earth, Wind, and Fire? Come on now, right?
Hey, that song was so long. Like I swear, I listened to it. I didn't have a mustache. After it was over, I had a whole mustache. I'm like, this song is long. but I'm in love now. So
Right? Exactly. You can go get that broom again, right, man? Come on.
that Lenny Williams, girl, you know,
Oh, oh, oh,
long
oh,
song,
oh. Yes,
long song. It's just
yes.
the longer the song, I'm like, okay, like D'Angelo's "How Does It Feel?" I'm like, this song is long,
Uh,
but he meant it.
yes. He feels. I'm like, oh
Look at you
Lord.
fanning yourself. You think about the video, nasty. Look at you.
Yes, Lord. Come on. I said, what? Where your shirt at? Don't
Oh
put it
my,
on. I just asked where it was.
what a wig and shirt at. Yo, that's funny. Because when you film your music videos, like how like do you get into the space like when you like, yo, I'm really filming a music video right now? Like, how does that feel?
No. Actually, no. Because I think one of the things is I was so tired of hearing the song "Promise." By the time we were done, I said I don't want to hear this song no more in life. I was so focused on that, and my assistant was like, "Oh my God, such a beautiful song!" And so was the actor. He was like, "I love this song." And I'm thinking, "Y'all love it. I'm tired of this song. I don't want to sing it nowhere ever." Right? And then after I saw the product of
Mhm.
what we did and came up with the concept, it was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And I mean, the venue was done, it was filmed at Lucian's, which is a beautiful wedding establishment. And that was
Yes.
another thing. I wanted to make sure it was an establishment where they actually film or have weddings. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about the Promise. This place is known throughout South Jersey. It's a beautiful venue. And the ballroom that we use, everything about it had meaning. You know what I mean? Connecting it together. The only thing that I wish would have been different, but everybody will understand it. One, it's more of a dream. I'm talking about in a context of, promise that you'll love me, because you want that. Everybody yearns to have that. And the other thing is you couldn't really have people, like a cast of characters, because then you weren't allowing you to bring a lot of people in to be filming stuff, and you couldn't bring extras. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
everything was limited because of this pandemic. So we had to think outside the box anyway to come up with what our concept was. That's why we did it that way. So the ballroom, of course, is empty except for those of us who were there filming. And I just felt like if there was anything I ever wanted to do in leaving a legacy behind, is that we want to celebrate life and people, everyday people. Everybody's not going to, have all this thing of talk about, oh, my life is so great, my life is this and that. People have been affected by loss.
Yes.
They have been upset. They've been hurt. They've been going through challenges. I've experienced loss through this COVID thing. It's like I know people from work. Like it's just not. It affected everybody in some way, shape, or form here and across the water. So for me, I think that if we can constantly remind each other of the love and the commitment and what relationships really mean and how important it is to find someone that you ain't gonna play games and look, right now, ain't nobody really dating. You don't know if somebody asymptomatic or not. Go ahead out there if you want to, right?
Hey, I tell you something about this. They don't know who they dating, but hey, they still out here ain't using no protection. So it's the same
What?
thing. The same thing.
Oh, Lord, I can't take it. I thought nobody was dating. Boy,
Oh,
am I
I'll tell you what, I'm in Atlanta. The dating spots have been wide open. And nobody's in there by themselves. Everybody has a date with them. So they're
Oh,
dating. They're dating, but I don't know what goes on beyond that. I think people out here just don't like to date.
wow.
They just like spending
Oh,
money.
my. I'm like, you better have like 3 or 4 masks on and have a visor or 2 over top and then talk to me from over there.
Let me tell you something. When you watch the news and you see Atlanta on the news, do you see a mask?
I
No,
haven't known.
no,
Oh, God, I have to pay attention. No?
no. Some of us
Wow.
do, some of us don't. But it's not a requirement. Some in a lot of businesses it is, but out in the streets, when you see these parties,
Wow.
no,
That's crazy.
no.
We ain't learned our lesson, huh? Is that what?
Let me tell you, they can't shut Atlanta down because Atlanta has the resources to start their own stuff.
Oh, wow. Right. Because of the populace, right?
People have microphones, people have speakers, people have their own venues, backyards, big houses. They're going to throw a show. It's going to be a show.
Wow. That's crazy. I never
But
even looked at it like that.
yeah,
Mm,
you can't shut. The only thing that can shut Atlanta down is snow. That's it.
wow.
They don't know how to
That's
drive.
Yeah, you're
They
right.
don't know how to drive in snow at all.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw the accidents one year. I was like, that ain't even a lot of snow. What the heck?
Let me tell you something. I'm from Ohio originally. I was laughing the entire time. So like, people literally was leaving their car on the highway, like, yeah, I know I drive a Tesla, but the snow got it. So whatever. And then just walked home.
My God, that's crazy. So that's real life stories. It ain't just a dream. No, no, if that was for real, huh? They were really leaving their car going. I heard those stories, but I wasn't sure if that was real.
No, it was real.
On the road.
It was real.
Oh my God, no.
Just make sure you stay safe, Mary, because you travel with a whole band. How many people in your band?
Yeah. Six people. We have a sax player, keyboard, guitar. Well, actually, we sometimes use 2 keyboard players, guitar, bass, and drums. So yeah, and then I have 3 background singers. So
y'all a whole Wu-Tang clan of R&B. I see y'all.
We do a little something, you know.
Okay.
I'm so proud to be able to say that I can do an acoustic set with just a guitar or a keyboard, or we can do the full band. We can give you anything you want. What you want. You can get a la carte, or you can go. And we always work with people. So, and I love the idea of doing new things. Like what I'm thinking about doing now, I want to do a Valentine's thing with just one couple, like to actually serenade them for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then have them have their private, intimate dinner, and then we go. But I was thinking of doing something like that. But I love original stuff or things that really celebrate relationships and love. I love the idea of love. I'm in love with the idea of love. I am, seriously.
So am I. What do you it's 2021. What do you have in the works, in the pipeline, if you could talk about it?
Yeah, actually, I have a Valentine. I'm supposed to be hosting some kind of a TV thing. I don't know. I don't have all the details, unfortunately, but I'm supposed to be hosting something for Valentine's Day. I'm also planning 2 Phyllis Hyman tributes. One I've been hired to do, and the other one is one that I'm going to sponsor prior to that. I have the album that I'm working on bringing out. I'm so excited about that. And I'm working on a dance too. Now, I'm not really a dancer, you know. My mother's going to do a little something. I'm gonna do a little something, you know, and I got a plan for it, you know. But when I do stuff, as I say, my projects become something that takes on a life differently than what others might think. I always want to think about how people will receive it, what they're going to see and take from it. And it's got to be inspirational, or I don't want to do it. I don't want to do anything that's not going to cause people to think of something positive, or, you know, it's gotta focus on that for me. And that's just my brand, my whole brand. I'm not compromising me, my band, my music, my lyrics for anybody. I'm not doing that. So yeah, I'm just excited about it, because I think the wholesomeness or the goodness, or just being able to be so in a mindset where you just want to do something that brings life or makes people happy or gives them joy for no reason. You're not asking for anything in return. You just want to make people happy. That's kind of like what's missing in the world today. Without them wanting something in return, they'd be like, "Why are you being so nice? Why are you being nice to me?
Yeah,
you want something, don't you?"
What you want? What you want? None? Okay. What you want?
No, I really don't want anything. Oh no, you do.
We just have a sixth sense. We're like, what you want? Come on now. You look at them
exactly.
like old people just.
I love that look. Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Oh, the question is, were you a church boy up in Ohio?
I was in church Monday through Sunday.
Oh Lord, come on.
I was asleep most of the time, but I was there.
But you were there. Oh yeah, you know, you hear the songs come on. You like,
I grew up Pentecostal, so you know it's hard to sleep, because you know as soon as church start, people shouting already. I'm like, already?
I know.
Like they just took up off. Like it's offering time. Like why are you shouting? Like you ain't have to give us money? Okay.
That's cool. So true. Oh my God, I had experiences with the Pentecostal. My husband came from Pentecostal church too, but I'm telling you, Pentecostal don't play. Like my nails, out of order. Don't come in with no makeup on. You better get on out of here, girl, with that. Don't you wear?
Like you know they ready, because when you come in, the drummer already spinning his sticks. He's already in the back. Like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Pastor, bow, bow, bow. I was like, already? Like, can I sit down?
Already. And you know what I learned? I learned from some of my musicians, because they're all church musicians. So funny. But they taught me that drummers always have this thing where they're hyped up. A lot of them play too fast when they're doing regular R&B music and other music because they're so used to playing.
Church, they're like, okay, you want to shout? I'm like, I'm singing Promise. Like, what? Why do I need to shout? I'm singing Promise. Like, why? I can add a praise break if you want to during Promise.
Right. You're like, what? Oh, during Promise, that ain't gonna work. It's true. And I was like, what is wrong with him? Why are you doing that? I remember I had a drummer one time. He would have the thing in his ear, right? He's listening to the song and then he's playing it fast. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm trying to talk to him. He can't even hear me because he got the stuff in his ear. And then he's playing faster and faster. I'm like, this is so out of with him.
Yo,
Seriously.
that is hilarious, yo. So yes, I was a church boy. I was.
Yeah. Oh, we got plenty of stories then for sure.
I was the dysfunctional. So now when people like they hear me talk, they was like, then I start singing like a P-Key song. They're like, you know P-Key? I'm like, oh, you have no idea. I can play both sides of the field if you need me to.
Oh my God, I love it. I can't wait to see your comedy live. You know I'm gonna come and see you, right?
Oh, please. I want to see you live. Actually, I'll tell you the rest of the details when we wrap this up because I don't want to put it there.
Yeah.
But definitely,
Okay.
we're gonna go ahead and. No, what's that?
I was gonna say I really wanna I wanna see you live. I don't know if you're coming to Pennsylvania or if I can get to Pennsylvania or if you coming to Jersey, Jersey,
whatever.
You know.
Whatever.
Yeah,
we can make it do what it do.
I bring a crew, man. We come down there. We're gonna come down in the cut. What? And we ain't gonna deal with your promoter, whoever he is, they was scratching the back of his neck.
I book my own stuff now. I'm my own promoter.
Smart man. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying, Mr. Entrepreneur? I love Mr. Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. So,
There you go.
Tell the people where they can find you on all social media.
Oh, absolutely. On Instagram, I'm 2, the letter N, Spire, and the letter U. On Twitter, I'm Mary Cross Sings. On Facebook, I'm just Cross Mary at the end of facebook.com/. My website is www.marycross.org, not .com. I said .org, okay? And other than that, if they were looking to Google me, you can find me. I'm the first name that comes up when you put in Mary Cross under the SEO. So it's the first name that comes up. And my song Promise is actually, the lyrics are on Genius and other sites as well, thanks to my publicist. So he's doing a good job. So they can find me. If they're looking for me, they can find me. And my music is available on all media platforms. Every media platform out there, it's available.
Good. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't hang up yet, Mary. Okay.
No worries.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Love and Laugh podcast. We were joined by the excellent, very talented Mary Cross. You can catch her, when this pandemic's over, anywhere. She's performing at weddings, at grocery stores, on airline. If you on a plane and you look at the runway, you see Mary. It's her. It's Mary. She's performing.
Okay, exactly.
So we catch Mary wherever. Follow her on social media. The music is dope. Promise me, because I don't like nothing, and I loved her music. So trust me. Check her out. It's worth it. So if you're an R&B singer, R&B fan, anything, check Mary Cross out. I trust me.
Yes, please.
Make sure do that. Follow her. Also follow Love to Laugh podcast. We got some more great guests coming up, and I'll holler at y'all later. Thank you so much.